Flow into gratitude for this principle. The size of an obstacle is not measured by its distance, but by the amount of fear it successfully installs in your mind. The moment courage reduces fear toward zero, even 100 yojanas begins behaving like a puddle in the mathematics of perception. Imagine standing before an ocean so vast that the horizon disappears. The water is restless. The depths are unknown. Every story you've ever heard about danger suddenly returns. The remarkable part is this. Before you take a single step, your mind has already measured the ocean. Not with a ruler, not with a map, but with fear. Now the mystery begins. Two people stand before the same ocean. The distance is identical. The waves are identical. The risks are identical. Yet one sees an impossible barrier. The other sees a difficult journey. What changed? Not the ocean. The observer. Psychology has repeatedly shown that our perception of challenge is shaped not only by the external situation but also by our appraisal of it, how capable we believe we are, how much control we think we have, and what meaning we assign to the challenge. Now look through the lens of mathematics. Imagine every obstacle has two dimensions: the physical challenge and the psychological amplification. The physical challenge may remain constant, but fear can magnify its apparent size. It's like looking through a magnifying lens. The object doesn't grow. The image does. And the mind often reacts to the image rather than the object. This is where many journeys quietly end. Not at the obstacle, but at its mental enlargement. Now another layer appears. Fear has a remarkable strategy. It almost never asks you to quit forever. It whispers something much smaller. Wait. Tomorrow. Not yet. You need more certainty. One delay becomes two. Two become weeks. Weeks become years. The obstacle never moved. But your relationship with it did. Now imagine something different. Instead of asking, how big is the obstacle? You ask, how much of its size is being created by my imagination? That single question changes the battlefield. Because the brain is constantly predicting the future. Prediction is useful, but prediction is not certainty. Sometimes the mind mistakes its own forecast for reality. The imagined defeat begins feeling like an actual defeat. The imagined embarrassment feels like a real memory. The imagined failure starts influencing real decisions. Now the ocean has grown, without a single drop of water being added. Gratitude interrupts this expansion. Not by pretending danger doesn't exist, but by reminding the mind of resources it already possesses. Past victories, lessons learned, people who stand beside you, strength developed through previous struggles. The focus shifts. Instead of counting only the waves, you begin counting the abilities that can meet them. And something extraordinary happens. The obstacle doesn't necessarily become smaller. You become larger. Psychologists describe a related idea in terms of appraisal. When people perceive themselves as more capable of handling a challenge, the same situation is often experienced as less overwhelming. The external world has not changed. The internal equation has. Now imagine fear as a tax. Every decision passes through it. A small tax slows progress. A large tax makes even simple actions feel expensive. Courage is not the absence of that tax. It is the willingness to move despite paying it. And with repeated action, the tax often begins to shrink. Each successful step teaches the brain something new. The prediction was not the whole story. Confidence grows not because uncertainty disappears, but because experience updates the mind's model of what is possible. Now the final revelation. Perhaps the greatest obstacles in life are not those with the greatest distance. They are those that successfully convince us to measure them with fear instead of reality. The world's most intimidating oceans have often been crossed one deliberate step at a time. Not because they became puddles, but because the travelers stopped allowing fear to multiply their size. Flow into gratitude for this principle. Because every challenge has two measurements. The one the world gives it, and the one your mind assigns to it. The first may be beyond your control. The second is where your deepest freedom begins. And when courage gradually replaces fear as the lens through which you measure life's oceans, You may discover that what once appeared impossible was never waiting for a different world. It was waiting for a different way of seeing it.